In this segment, I'd like to describe the theta grid adjustment rules. Linguists use the term theta grid to refer to a constituent's argument structure. So these rules modify a constituent's argument structure. And the rules have been pre-written for us. These rules were written automatically when you created your target language database. And you can see here many groups. Within each group there are many rules. They're all turned off right now. It's up to us to activate these rules and to modify them. But you can look at them. Here's the theta grid adjustment rule for allow sense A. The TBTA knows the argument structure of each event. It knows whether it takes a source noun phrase or a destination noun phrase or an object complement, etc. But the easiest way to modify these rules is to edit this verb's theta grid adjustment rule. Now you'll notice right now walk is highlighted in purple, and in the generate button it says there's one issue. An issue is an unactivated theta grid adjustment rule or an unlinked concept. So in this case there's one issue, and that's because we haven't modified the theta grid adjustment rule for walk. So let's do that now. If we rest our cursor here, we'll see examples of walk. Daniel 3:25 says the men walked. So there's just an agent NP, no source or destination. Ruth 2:3 says Ruth walked to the field. So there's a destination NP. Condi Story 1:4 says mother walked from the house. So there's a source noun phrase. So optional constituents are indicated with purple cross-hatching. So the source and the destination noun phrases are optional. If you don't want the theta grid adjustment rule to do any significant restructuring, then you can click on this button labeled Simple Output. And you'll see a new dialog that has a column for each of the arguments. And we can specify the grammatical relation of each argument and whether or not an add position should be inserted into each constituent. For the agent NP, its grammatical relation will be set to subject by that very generic rule that we talked about in a previous tutorial. So we don't need to specify the grammatical relation for the agent. It will automatically be set to subject by that previous rule. For the source, if we click on that cell, we see all of the grammatical relations that we've defined. Generally in English, we put the source NP before the destination NP. For example, John walked from his house to the store. So let's say the source noun phrase is an _1. Let's say the destination noun phrase is an _2. Here we'll want to insert the preposition John walked from, and here we'll want to insert the preposition to. So now we see the noun phrase grammatical relation has been set to _1 and _2. Let's enter an example. Noun phrases 1:5. John walked from Jerusalem. For our theta grid adjustment rules, quite often we don't have an inserted grammatical topic. So let's say OK. This rule is turned off. Do you want this rule status set to on? Yes. So now there are no more issues in this verse. If we click the generate button now, okay, we need to tell our clause phrase structure rule where to position these obliques. So let's go to our clause phrase structure rule. Let's say insert new constituent. This will be a noun phrase. _1. We don't need to give these a name. Let's insert all of the obliques while we're here. Noun phrases _2. Noun phrases _3. Noun phrases _4. let's do the generic oblique as well. And let's position all of these after the object. And the generic oblique will come last. Now we get John, it should be walked, but that's okay. John walked from Jerusalem. We're not concerned with getting the correct tense on this verb in this particular segment. So that shows how to edit or modify a very simple theta grid adjustment rule. In the next segment, we'll look at an example that's a bit more complex. And that concludes this particular segment.